Welcome to WP Theme Tutorial, episode 43. Today we're going to take a look at CodeKit. Before we do that, I want to encourage you to do one thing. You can see on the front page of the site we have an email list sign up. I'm going to be releasing some new courses soon, or I have some other courses or some other materials I'd like to release. And I'd like your opinion on it, and I'm going to send that out to the email list in the form of a survey. So if you want to have a say, see what's upcoming, and get a discount on it for being on the email list, simply go to the site and sign up to the email list. So you can see that I've covered CodeKit. It says twice before. I've got 2 posts tagged with CodeKit. Really, it's once. About building a WordPress theme with less CSS. And so in that one, I showed you how we use less, and we use a little bit of how we use CodeKit to compile it. What is CodeKit? And CodeKit allows us to compile less, Sass, which are both CSS languages. It allows us to minify JavaScript and test it. It allows us to compress images and a bunch of different other things. And so it's just an application that allows us to do all of that. Today, we're going to take a little bit better look at it though. So here is CodeKit. And here is the basics of a project for one of my clients. You can see we can view all files, which is going to give us all of our PHP files, all of our images. We have our styles, in this case less, and you can see we have my less file called compile.less, which compiles out to a CSS file, and it imports all these ones below it, which is why they're grayed out. We have scripts. I had a lot of scripts before I got to it, so I'm not actually doing anything with these. Typically, you'd also see a similar setup where we're minifying our scripts. I think we can show you that on this. Yeah, you can see we're minifying our script to script-ck, which would be script-codekit. And I'm actually using the jQuery validate in my theme in another spot, so that's why you don't see it compiled. And then we have pages. In this case, it's just a bunch of PHP. This also has HTML processing settings in it too. And images, and you can actually minimize images here, so you can see I've done this before with other things. Yeah, initial size and current size, it's tracked that. So by default, CodeKit is going to use your settings that you have in in here. So your less files are going to output to that path. Your Sass files are going to output to that. And that's fine for most of your projects. But what about, so for this project we have custom. You can tell that because it says S right there. And that means it's got a custom configuration file exported right out to the theme. And you can see that right here. CodeKit config.json. So every time I update it, it's actually tracking it in the CodeKit configuration. You can see it updated at 9:40 and it's currently 9:43. So about 3 minutes ago, it kind of ran through all the files, made sure nothing had changed, and then exported that. And what that allows us to do is actually to trade project settings between CodeKit configurations. So if I want to send this out to another designer or developer, because the CodeKit JSON file is in my theme, they can use that to match the settings that I have. Setting that up is as simple as project settings, and right here it says edit project settings, but you can see on a new project enable project level settings. So if I wanted to turn this into custom settings for this project, I would right click project settings and enable. I don't want to do that for that project, so I'm going to go to edit project settings, and you can see that we have all of our different options. We have export project configuration file and auto update. So that means if you change it, it's going to automatically update. We do have some issues with that though, especially if you're using version control and you have CodeKit open as you're switching branches. This CodeKit JSON file changes, and pretty much anytime you do anything, this CodeKit JSON file changes. It's one of the things that I find a little frustrating with it. So you're always committing changes to this CodeKit JSON file. When you switch branches, it's not uncommon to have a conflict happen because of the changes in that. So what you should be doing, or what I found you need to do, is to close CodeKit, then switch and merge your branches around, push everything you want to push, or open the branch you want to work on again, and open up CodeKit. That's one of the little tweaks, and I guess one of my annoyances with it. But typically you want that. You want it to always be updating itself. And in here you can see we can set our export paths for Sass, Less, JavaScript, CoffeeScript, Haml, Jade, Slim, Kit. We can even go with our syntax checkers and make or change how we want them to work, and uglify.js, which is our minifier. So that is excellent, but how do we start a new project or import a project that has these custom settings? Well, I'm going to remove this one and show you. You can see I've got it here in my window, and it's got the CodeKit JSON file. And that's it. It's now using the project settings. So if I was going to edit this, I would bring up my code editor and just open it in our code editor and take a look. So remember, our project is set to compile the compile.less file. If we hop into our theme, you can see it's compiling it out to a compile.css file. And what is it doing? It's importing 3 files: widgets, forms, and main.less. You can see here we have some less written and some not actually. I picked up this project late, and some of it is in less and some of it has not been converted. But it all does get rendered out to a 1-line CSS file. Let's just make a simple edit. Just add 2 spaces there. It's simply going to trigger CodeKit, and that gives us a compiled file, and it's compiling and made those changes to compile.css. Now we wouldn't actually see those changes in compile.css because it was just white space. So since we're minifying, it would strip it all out. That's it. That's the basics of using CodeKit, setting up project level settings, and then using those project level settings between team users. Thanks for watching.